Yo, we're in Rio. Let's go.
It's like we never left.
Yo, it's perfect.
That's the trip.
A second ago, we are off to Sugarloaf Mountain.
Think you could climb this thing? Spider-Man style?
On Friday, we officially head to South America. Pete and I have a 10-hour flight from Houston, so a lot to plan for. All right, I figured I would start filming again as we prepare and are about 1 week from our trip to Brazil and Peru. I had to think about that one. But yeah, just gonna spend the next week detailing and kind of showcasing what goes into the preparation of a trip that is not exactly in your backyard. So yeah, stick with me here. Probably be a pretty boring week, but I'm just trying to make sure to capture everything and detail what goes into these things. Good morning. It is Monday and we are officially 4 days out from the trip. Let's go. This video called
Outback Files School Survival Guide.
Damn.
Featuring Hunter Poitras and Pete.
And
Me.
one of the things I try to prioritize on a week like this leading up to a trip is, of course, laundry. So a couple things that are really important to me, especially right before I'm preparing to go on a trip, international at that, that's even gonna be more important, is I try to eat as healthy as possible. I've got a shit ton of greens that I picked up the last week or two, and I've just been trying to prepare and making sure that, I do that for a couple of reasons. The first and most important is probably to just make sure that I'm maintaining a really strong and healthy diet, making sure I don't get sick before a trip. It also is, hopefully preventing anything from happening, building on my immune system. I also do it in full transparency because before you go on a trip, I really want to make sure that I look the best I possibly can. Something to keep in mind, when talking about a diet, especially considering going into a trip, is that, it's fine to do what, I'm doing, maybe having a caloric deficit and trying to eat a little bit better, but I also think it's perfectly normal and fine if you've got yourself a really good regimen and routine where you're consistently, staying active and healthy and you're eating consistently throughout the year. I don't think it's wrong or bad for you to just splurge throughout your entire trip or continue to eat the same way you've been eating in preparation for a trip. This is just something I do personally before trip. I also am by no means a professional or a dietitian. This is just my 2 cents and how I've prepared in my mindset. I think it's healthy to eat what you want while you're on vacation. And maybe have a couple extra greens beforehand, but you decide for yourself. The nice thing about today and this entire week is that I'm working at home, which is super nice, and you saw that in Montana. My work is pretty flexible, and I'm extremely fortunate for that. We're back into 2 international countries for this trip, but a lot goes into it. There's a lot that I'll show you throughout the week in preparation for this trip, and it's not just packing. I'll definitely give you guys a full itinerary of what I bring. I'm gonna go take a run. I will see you guys a little bit later tonight in preparation. I probably will start packing. Let's cut up some broccoli. Do you feel, are you jealous?
No. Yes.
Yeah, you're good answer.
Yes.
You almost messed that up. Try again. We are 3 days out from this trip, 3 days out from leaving for Peru, Brazil. I think today and tomorrow are going to be pretty lackluster, I'd say. But I'm going to start packing today, which is a big step. because usually this happens a day or two before. But since I'm filming, I figured I would take a little bit more time and share the ins and outs of what I'm packing for my camera equipment and then clothing as well. Alright, officially have wrapped up our final session at the gym. I got one more run in me tomorrow, but I've been trying to stay pretty consistent with everything. Alright, tonight let's talk a little bit about the clothing that I'm bringing and probably the footwear as well. Here is the lovely malaria pill. Primarily going to be focusing on the clothing aspect of, what we're bringing on the trip, and then I'll pivot a little bit later in the night and talk about the camera equipment. I'm bringing one pair of slides. I've got my hiking boots. The last thing I'm going to be wearing for the majority of just walking through the streets is just my normal running shoes and my sneakers. Pants, I've got one pair of jeans. I don't even know if I'll end up sticking through this, but I feel like I always have a pair of jeans, and then I've got a pair of sweats as well. All right, team, so I just explained a second ago on this guy that I was going to give you a rundown of all of the different things I'm packing. This is my bed right now, and this is genuinely what it looks like like a couple of days before I leave for any trip. I like to usually see what I'm packing. I've got a ton of just normal everyday shorts that I'll be pretty much wearing throughout all of Brazil. To complement that, we've got a lot of these light fit shirts similar to what I'm wearing right now. Light, breathable, makes me look really sexy. I probably only bring 3 or 4 of like a cotton type t-shirt for just like going out, hanging out. Plus I've got 2 of these. These are like just everyday like sweat shorts. Okay, so some other things that I'm bringing that I think would be pertinent to our discussion here is I got 2 button-up t-shirts, so that way if I meet some ladies, if I meet some friends, I don't look ridiculous. Probably will anyways, but I've got some t-shirts. These are my hiking pants. And along with that, I've got a rain jacket from LL Bean, represent Maine. Let's go. And I've got the same ordeal, same type of pants. I've got some hats, 2 forwards, 1 backwards cap, and I am just notorious for wearing caps when I travel. I'm always comfy in them, so gotta have some caps. I'd always recommend having some of these. These are like the packing cubes that are just incredible. When you're trying to fit everything inside of a bag like this, which is pretty much just like a trash or a dumpster barrel. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's just a dumpster barrel with a lot of little pockets. Those things make life when you're traveling 10 times easier. So I'd recommend bringing those. That's pretty much the general idea of what I'm bringing on this trip. Half of it's for hiking, half of it is like beaching it. Passport, got a map because I'm addicted to maps. Buy yourself a map. Some cash as well. 3 pairs of sunglasses. Got a little case here for a toothbrush, a razor, malaria pills, because who doesn't bring those? Alright team, so let's go through all of the camera equipment that I'll be using for the next 2 weeks in Peru and Brazil. Let's try to do this in one take. I'd like to re-emphasize that at any point you can, film with just a camera, such as your phone, right? I mean, that's as simple as it gets. You've got it in your pocket. Pete preaches this all the time. You have a camera, a fantastic camera right in your pocket. We all do. You can utilize that. So there's nothing saying that you have to have a ton of equipment. It really doesn't even dictate how good your film is. I myself am still learning. So one of the major players I'm bringing is my DJI Mini 3 Pro drone. I've used this on countless trips. It's probably gotten the most use of any of my cameras, even probably more than the camera we're using right now. So it's the controller. And extra batteries. So with the Fly More kit, the 3 Pro, when I bought it, I had the Fly More kit. And I always bring a couple of these extra wings with it too. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I also do have, this is the newest camera I bought myself, was the Action 5, the Osmo Pro DJI. And this thing has been awesome. I have a couple different accessories for the Osmo that I think are worth talking about. This I bought personally. It's just filters to make sure that we're in sunlight, it doesn't look like absolute shit. Last part of the ecosystem here with DJI, and at this point, I might as well be sponsored. Pete and I both have a ton of their equipment, and hats off to them. They've done an incredible job. But it's just gonna be the DJI mics. So this is I believe the first set of mics that they came out with, and if you look here, it's got its own casing. They're really nice, and they package them and they charge in the casing as well. So these are for being mic'd up, and I think that creates a really cool shot, a dynamic where if you've got the camera on a tripod and you and your buddy or friends or even just yourself are in the distance, it definitely makes for another really creative shot. And I have extra batteries for that as well. I've got a 2-pack and a charging case. Talked a little bit about this, but this is so that when we're traveling on the trip and we need to dump storage off of our cameras and the SD cards themselves, this is the T7 Samsung external or SSD. One of the most important things that I can say I use for the majority of my shots when I'm filming in the daytime is just having an ND filter. This is a polarized one as well, and I think it's by Haida, is the company that I bought mine off. It's incredible. It's been incredible. External, just batteries, backup, power banks. First, I told you and promised you I was bringing my Sony a7 IV with a shotgun mount on it. This is what it looks like with the tripod. So this will be coming. Everything you're looking at here will be joining me and Pete, and that's kind of the bread and butter, this puppy here. At this point, I'll just about be signing off. We've got about one more day tomorrow in between, and we leave Friday. So as I'm speaking to you now, it's Wednesday, and I'm trying to not psych myself up. Pete does a really good job of that. I'm usually pretty bad at getting too excited before the trip, but I'm gonna get some rest, try to relax tonight, get myself prepared and in the right mindset tomorrow, and I hope you all have a fantastic night.
Do I need some like hiking poles that look so legit right now?
Yeah, you would look pretty legit.
Wait,
You just need something else. Here.
My name is Russell. I'm a wilderness explorer. Are you needing an amendment today?
Go away.
Good morning, everybody. Today is the day. No more waiting. No more countdown. Today we officially head to Brazil. Wrapped up my workout. I ran for about 3 miles, which was honestly kind of nice. I'm trying to avoid again any major excitement until I wrap up work here by noon. So trying to distract myself. I mean, I guess the next couple hours will be work regardless. So today's itinerary, how it's supposed to look, is that we're supposed to leave here hopefully around noon to 12:30. Get to the airport, and then we have until 3:40 is when we take off. We board at 3, and then I think we have like an hour and 10-minute layover in Houston. All the camera equipment, all the things that are probably the most important to keep on me at all times will be in this bag, just getting everything ready to go, and I couldn't be more excited.